us ahead on the schedule, worry about, who's coming in here or where we're going. It's one game at a time, and at the end of the day, it's a regular season game. So, yeah, we haven't talked about it at all.
The memories will come back as soon as you walk into the building, but also understand that it's one of 82, and I'm not going to put everything into this game. For us as a team, Friday will not be the end of our season like it was, in June. We play Saturday, and then we play Monday and Tuesday. So we want to play well. Going against a great caliber team, the best team in our league right now. But it's not like the season ends if we lose or if we win or whatever case may be.
A little rematch action of the NBA Finals will headline a 5-game slate on Christmas Day. The Warriors have the highest win percentage, obviously, entering Christmas Day in NBA history. However, the players are downplaying this game publicly. Stephen A., what do you expect in this Cavs-Warriors matchup?
Well, I think it's wise for them to downplay it from the perspective that, okay, we'll be hyped about going up against one another, but I think both sides are being very realistic here. If you're the Golden State Warriors, the worst-case scenario is that you're 27-2, still with the best record in all of the NBA, still in position to really make some noise for the regular season. It's a regular season game in December. Now, it is a rematch of the finals, and there are two storylines that they're trying to downplay because they know that they don't need to hype it up because they'll leave that to us to do so. But if you're the Golden State Warriors, people are considering your title fraudulent because Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were not available to help LeBron James go against you, which a lot of people, including myself, believe is why you're standing here today as the reigning defending NBA champions. No disrespect to the Warriors because they look sensational right now, and I give them a lot of props. The flip side to it is that if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are the team that knocked you off in the NBA Finals. You do firmly believe that had you had all your horses, you would have won. So the opportunity to send a message, particularly now that Kyrie Irving has just returned, should end up going a very, very long way because Kyrie Irving is going to be on the court, although in limited action. Kevin Love is back because his shoulder's no longer separated, and LeBron James is still LeBron James, and Iman Shumpert is going to be there as well because he's back from being injured too, even though he played in the NBA Finals. The point that I'm trying to make is that all the horses are available on both sides at this particular moment in time. But in the end, it's not going to be the end of the world. It'll be a big day for a Christmas Day game. But at the same time, it's just going to give us some kind of indication of what could potentially be a finals rematch. They know that that's what this is, but at the same time, they don't want to act like it's the be-all, end-all, because whoever loses, they don't want to, if you're Golden State, you don't want to hear somebody saying this legitimizes the fact that your title was fraudulent in a lot of people's eyes. And if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, you don't want people sitting there looking at you and saying you would have lost to them anyway. So stop talking about the injuries because you would have lost anyway. So they both have their incentive, but they're wise to downplay it to some degree because obviously you don't want to sit there and create headaches for yourself for January through April and May and possibly June.
So you giving the Cavs a shot in this game?
I'm giving them a shot. I still give the edge to the Golden State Warriors because I think Kyrie hasn't been back. Iman Shumpert, they're both just getting back. So there's going to take some time to readjust and to acclimate yourself. But you got some rough riders on the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're not going to just bow down very, very easily. And a lot of those guys, I'm here to tell you for a fact, believe that if all their horses were available to them, they would have won the NBA championship. So they're going to have that chip on their shoulder, and they're not going to go to Golden State and get run over. I can promise you that. But the way Golden State is shooting the basketball on their home turf, with them being at home and Cleveland having to travel across the country on Christmas Day, which, by the way, I think is a damn shame. LeBron James is absolutely right to make a little noise about that. For him to constantly be on the road Christmas Day is entirely unfair. It's entirely unfair. It really is.
Okay, but the biggest chip on any shoulders I've ever seen of any defending champs now rests on the shoulders of the Golden State Warriors because they feel like they got discounted and that they were fraudulent. So I think that, bottom line, I think their motivation is even greater than the Cavs' motivation here. So I do look for Golden State to win a fairly close game, to pull away late, maybe win by 10 or so. But here's my point, Stephen A. Before we leap to all-time great conclusions about the Warriors, now that we've come to Christmas, And we all know that Christmas is sort of where a lot of fans say, oh, the NBA's going. You know, now let's join the parade here now and start watching the NBA. Just for the record, does Golden State have what you would call a signature win yet this year? I'm not sure about that because in Game 2 they won at Houston and they won convincingly. Houston is now, after losing at Orlando last night, 15-15. Then Golden State early on crushed Memphis, beat them by 50 points when Memphis was struggling. Memphis is starting to get its legs underneath it. Then the Clippers, they beat them by 4. You called it on the show. You said you thought it'd be a battle. It'd be a fairly close game. Clippers hung in that game, lost by 4. The Clippers are now 16-13. Are they a great team? No, they're not a great team. Are they a contender? Sure. Think they'll come back together. But my point is that when I look at what happened in the finals, LeBron, without Kevin Love, and then lost Kyrie in overtime of Game 1, they actually came back and won Game 2 at Oracle. So both the Game 1 and 2 went to overtime, and they won the second one. Then they won the third game, and they're up 2-1 with Game 4 in LeBron's house. So that's without Kevin Love and without Kyrie. So to your point, Cleveland should be able to play with these guys. Have they suddenly taken it up to some other never seen level? I don't know. I'm not sure of that yet. So my point is, this should be a closer game. I still think chip is bigger on Golden State's shoulders here. And at home, I still think that Cleveland can hang in this game and maybe lose by 8 or 10 at the end.
Well, I just don't think that LeBron James is getting blown out. I don't see that happening. And I don't see Steph Curry and Klay Thompson going berserk the way they have been doing against most opponents this year, because I think a guy like Iman Shumpert combined with LeBron James, if you listen, they will make somebody else beat them. Don't get me wrong. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are the Splash Brothers. They're going to get theirs, but you're not going to steamroll over the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James. I just don't see LeBron James and Cleveland letting that happen. Having said all of that, I can't ignore what I'm seeing from Draymond Green. He has elevated his level of play. He has really come into his own. He is an all-star. When I look at that, I got to give props where props is due. I also got to think about the fact that, again, when you are a marksman, when you are a squad full of marksmen, you've got about 4 or 5 guys shooting better than 38% from three-point range. I can't ignore that. And so when I look at it from that perspective, again, Cleveland can dictate tempo. They can slow the game down. I could even see Cleveland possibly winning this game. I just can't sit there and bet my money on them because they have to travel to Golden State. Golden State's on their home turf and what have you. They're going to be rested. They're not going to be perturbed because they're on the road for Christmas. They ain't LeBron James talking about how his family's in L.A. and he ain't, they don't have any Christmas tradition because he's never home to have a Christmas tradition. All of these different things that are going on, it might add a little sizzle to it. It might make him a bit perturbed where he performs at elite level, but I'm not sure the other guys are going to be just as disciplined and as focused as LeBron James for this particular matchup. They will show up. Cleveland's got heart. They're going to battle. They could win, but if I had to bet my money, I would pick Golden State to win this game by about 6 or 7 points when all is said and done.
I'm with you. And the scariest bottom line to this discussion is, you realize Harrison Barnes is still highly doubtful to play in this game. And he's been gone for the last 11 games. Wow. Yeah. Wait till he gets back.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Stephen
Wait till he gets back.
To your point about LeBron being on the road, following this year's game, LeBron will have played 7 of his 10 Christmas Day games on the road, the most by any player since the NBA-ABA merger. So that's huge.
That's quit losing the finals.
That's not fair.
You got to do quit losing. That's it.
The Seahawks.
Well, that's not true. That's not the only reason, though. I mean, come on. But he's the draw, Skip. He's the box office attraction. And Michael Jordan had, I know he won 6 out of 6, but damn, he had a lot of Christmas Day games in Chicago, man. He wasn't on the road. I mean, come on, man.
Christmas Day is going to be fun.
They need to do something about that.
All right, Seattle, they're at home, and they're on a roll. And one of the coaches says Marshawn Lynch, this was really interesting, is going to need to adjust to the new offense. The guys will get into that after the break.